Hello learners, I am Dr. Vidyanand from Department of Education, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. Friends, we'll learn today about curriculum evaluation model. I'll be focusing today's presentations on Scriven model. Professor Michael Scriven had designed and proposed Scriven goal-free model. Before that, we'll just understand the background of the model. Goal-free evaluation model was created in 1972 by Michael Scriven and also properly known as Scriven model. At that time, for the more effective management practice of education, much money was invested in education. Such action raised the need for evaluating the educational projects which were funded by the government. As one person taking part in the evaluation of these projects, Scriven realized that the evaluation were influenced by the project goals, which led to the low quality of evaluations. Therefore, he proposed the new model called goal-free evaluation. In program evaluation, which is defined as a model in which official or stated programs goal and objectives are withheld or screened from the evaluator, as stated by Yucker and Ingram in 2013. So what is goal-free evaluation? Goal-free evaluation is any evaluation in which the evaluator conducts the evaluation without particular knowledge of or reference to stated or predetermined goals and objectives. The goal-free evaluator attempts to observe and measure all actual outcome, effects or impacts, intended or unintended, all without being cued to the program's intention. Goal-free evaluation evaluator asks, what does the program actually do, rather than what does the program intend to do. So that is the base idea of this. Goal-free evaluation, this model had its own merit. Merit is determined by relating program effects to the relevant needs of the impacted population. As Scriven stated in 1991, it says that merit is determined by relating program effects to the relevant needs of the impacted population. A comprehensive need assessment is conducted simultaneously with data collection. The evaluator should provide experiential account of program activity so that readers of the report can through naturalistic generalization arrive at their own judgments of quality in addition to those the evaluator provides. So you understand the concept of goal-free evaluation model. The basic idea was that the evaluator will be third man. He or she will be not known what it's all about. So it will understand thoroughly, applying different research methodology, how does it impact and on whom it impacts. What should be the characteristics of evaluator? We'll discuss in a brief. Evaluator actively avoids information regarding program goals. Does not have preconceived goals in order to narrow the focus. As you all know, certain projects are there, they had certain objectives and aims. So here in this case, it's not preconceived goal that is understood or focused by the evaluator. So it do it in a broader way or overarching way. A evaluator study about the projects or the model. Has minimal contact with staff or members of the program. So he or she is not, he or she is a third man, so he is not involved in actual with the staff, how does the things work or how does the program works. Without information regarding goals, evaluator is more likely to see unanticipated effects of the program. So that is the basic idea or basic gist of this model, is that evaluator is not known what the program or the what project it actually affects. So he or she will study the unanticipated effects of the program. So that was not determined when the program was set up. For example, an evaluator might be asked to evaluate the effectiveness of gender sensitization program or anti-sexual harassment projects housed within the program of women study centers. So the programs, as you all know, in our country or on your universities also, we have different programs for sensitization. So an goal-free evaluator will be asked to evaluate all this without having any background or without stating the goal. Also housed in that programs are workplace behavior, gender sensitization or exclusion. Clients, students, learner of the Center for Women's Studies may participate in any or all these programs. Thus, it would be difficult to isolate the results or just one project activities. So it's a comprehensive evaluation. It's not the one-time situation when we evaluated we are going to be study. That way they will work and they will see that how it affects or what are the effects of it, both in positive or with some limitations. A goal-free evaluation would examine the overall results for the clients of Women's Study Center program, which would be more meaningful than individual evaluation of each projects. So that will give you understanding that how does the program work, how it is going to affect, and what are its multiple effects. When to use goal-free evaluation? When stakeholder wants information about program outcomes, both intended or unintended. Critique not focus on the program's goals. When evaluators have no knowledge of program's goal, intentionally or unintentionally want to identify the effect of program from data collection, observations and interviews. So that is the idea behind it. The characteristics of goal-free evaluation. Scriven 1991 claims goal-free evaluation is methodologically neutral, which means that it can be used or adapted for use with several other evaluation approaches, models and methods, as long as the other approaches do not mandate goal orientation. Determine what effects this program had and evaluate them whether or not they were intended. Evaluate the actual effects against a profile of demonstrated needs. Determine if what occurred can logically be attributed to the program or intervention. Determine the degree to which the effect is positive, negative or neutral. So that is what had been claimed by Scriven, that these are the characteristics of goal-free evaluation. Goal-free evaluation. Notice something that everyone else overlooked: overall perspective. Do not be under the control of the management. Choose the variables of evaluation independently. The key to goal-free evaluation is to have an evaluator enter to field and try to learn about a program and its results inductively and without being aware of the specific objectives of program. Note that goal-free evaluation approach is useful as a supplement to the more traditional goal-oriented evaluation. Here it's very important to understand that goal-free evaluation approach is useful and also supplement to the more traditional goal-oriented evaluation. Generally we have a goal-oriented evaluation, but this goal-free evaluation will definitely help, because it will give an overarching picture or the holistic picture of entire thing, and that definitely will help to form goal-oriented evaluation. Goal-free evaluation is done by a separate evaluator who collects exploratory data to supplement another evaluator's goal-oriented data. So as you understood the concept or the idea behind the goal-free evaluation, now we need to understand what are the essential skills of evaluator in goal-free evaluation. Goal-free evaluation demands that the evaluator have good knowledge of the subject of evaluation. Evaluator competence is a major issue, because evaluator, when he or she is going to evaluate, he need to understand he should be very well with evaluation techniques, research techniques. He should have or she should have an overarching view. Then only that competence and that can only be justice will be given to the goal-free evaluation. Included in this element is the requirement that the evaluator be free of biases. This is very important. That is important for every research or every evaluator, but in goal-free evaluation it also need to be understood, because that is going to develop a base for goal-oriented evaluation model in future as well. What are the tools and techniques? A brief of pre-goal evaluation will discuss. Ask questions and devise ways to find answers. Determine what the evaluation will do and how it will benefit to stakeholders. Select appropriate methodologies for gathering data, interviewing and interview again, focus group, reflective feedback and other appropriate contextual method technique. Strength of goal-free evaluation. Draw out key issues, provide appropriate feedback and constructive criticism. Identify key and critical issues. Forming theories, unexpected outcomes, development of emergent themes. So that are the strength of goal-free evaluation. As I had been discussed earlier as well, that it will be a constructive criticism. It's not only criticize, but it will be constructive criticism. Critical issues can be identified in a goal-free because a third man or a third person is going to evaluate. That also will help you to develop or design theories, theoretical based in area of research. Also, unexpected outcomes might come because the program would be intended with some idea, and then the outcome might be very different. Development of emergent themes also may be occurred in goal-free evaluation, and that is very appropriate in today's context because we can see now the evaluation, the learning process that entirely is changing so fast, so that itself will help us. So what are the benefits of goal-free evaluation? It controls goal-oriented or related biases, because goal-oriented it's had a certain objective or certain intention, and that happens creates biases. Uncovering side effects, that what are the goal-oriented side effects are occurring that can be addressed. Avoiding the rhetoric of true goals, like true goals, that itself is again inverted, because what are the goals? Because every personality differs, so what are the true goals? So that also is there. Adapting to contextual environmental changes, because as per the need. Aligning goals with actual program activities and outcomes. And the most other important is supplementing to goal-based evaluation. It can be used at various places in school or colleges, like you can evaluate NETs at coaching, communication skills, targeting prerequisite schools, and that will help you to understand what really a student's needs. There might be various approaches can be adopted either at the school level, that also we can also conduct such studies for school readiness, preparing for examinations. So as you all know, there are various programs either from school or colleges, but that can be studied. Although the programs are designed by the state or by the districts or by that institution, but need to be studied how it is going to affect. Is it in positive way? What are the limitations and how it can be improved? So definitely goal-free evaluation can be used in various ways from school level to college, university level. There is a chance that some of the most important effects will be missed. The model failed to come to grip with the question of what effects to look at and what needs to be assessed. This approach can only lead to poor planning. Goal-free evaluation is seen as a threat by many program designers. So these are certain limitations you need to understand, because as every model had its own advantages as well as limitations. So similarly, goal-free evaluation also do have certain limitation, as what effects has to be assessed, what has to be looked at and how it has to be assessed. Because that is a goal-free, then the planning it would be hamper, or like it can lead to poor planning, because when we plan in that way, that might be a vague planning, also can be the limitation. Also it can be threat to the program designers, because they design a program for a certain period of time, a certain month, a year, like as we develop for the academic calendars or the yearly calendars, institutional planning. So this the programmer had that threat, but as limitations are there, again advantage, they can conduct such studies and develop their goal-oriented plan based on the findings of the study as well. Thank you friends. I hope I had shared this to all teacher educators, the people who are working in the field of academics. Thank you very much.